I remember sitting in that sterile hospital waiting room, a folder of medical bills shaking in my hands. My mother leaned back in the chair opposite me, arms crossed, eyes scanning her phone like I wasn't even there. "I just can't help you this time," she said flatly, her tone like a verdict. The words hit me like ice water. I wanted to scream, to shake her, to make her see that this wasn't optional, it was life or death. Instead, I just sat there, my chest tight, forcing a smile I didn't feel. That moment, that was the exact moment I realized I had been abandoned by someone I trusted most. Let's wait here before we continue. Please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and also drop your comment below. Let's continue. A week later, while sorting through old family documents for some unrelated reason, I stumbled upon a name I didn't recognize, a bank account hidden beneath layers of forgotten statements. Curious, I dug deeper. The balance, it was enough to pay for my surgery 10 times over. My heart pounded, my hands trembled. She had the money, she had the ability to save my life and chose not to. Rage, disbelief, and a strange sense of opportunity collided inside me. I didn't act immediately. I never do. I sat at my small kitchen table, notebooks and spreadsheets spread out before me, imagining every scenario. Patience was my ally now. I wasn't going to lash out. I was going to plan, observe, and execute a long game that she would never see coming. Every smile she gave me from that day forward would hide the cold calculation underneath. Family dinner. She poured wine for everyone else but left my glass empty, glancing at me with thinly veiled disapproval. I smiled, thanking her for the meal. Inside, a storm brewed. She thought she had won, yet she had no idea that I was already maneuvering behind the scenes. The first shift of power is always subtle. A carefully placed word here, a silent acknowledgement there. I began noticing cracks. My mother's arrogance had blinded her. She bragged about her hidden wealth to friends, hinted at investments no one understood, flaunted her lifestyle to cousins and neighbors. Every brag, every smirk was a tiny gift to me, a thread I could pull at later. My plan was forming, and patience was key. I subtly hinted to her that I had medical support from another source. She raised an eyebrow, almost a smirk, thinking I'd be grateful for the alternative. Little did she know I was testing her, observing her reactions, cataloging every detail for the ultimate payoff. I didn't panic, I didn't plead, because I already had the upper hand. Over the next few weeks, I made small, almost imperceptible changes to my own finances, investing in health insurance, setting up an emergency fund. Every step made me stronger, every decision calculated. She remained oblivious, smug in her perceived superiority. It was intoxicating to see how blind she was to the person she dismissed as helpless. At a family brunch, she casually mocked me in front of relatives for relying on handouts. I smiled, nodded, let her words land like stones. Inside, I felt my first taste of controlled power. By letting her arrogance fuel her, I allowed the universe to prepare the stage for poetic justice. I gained access to her bank account legally, through careful observation and record keeping. I didn't touch a dime yet, I only watched. The thrill wasn't in theft, it was in knowing the truth and watching her live as if nothing was wrong. This was my moral high ground. Knowledge itself was power. I began restructuring my life quietly, paying off debts, investing in a small business, building financial independence. Each step not only protected me but gave me leverage. She had chosen to withhold help. I was choosing to never depend on her again. My rise would be visible, undeniable, and inescapable. I dropped subtle hints about my growing independence at family gatherings. A new job, a small investment, an unexpected windfall. Her expressions shifted from annoyance to disbelief. She tried to mask it with sarcasm, but her carefully constructed facade was cracking. One afternoon, she casually mentioned my lack of financial foresight. I smiled calmly, leaning back in my chair, letting the insult wash over me. "Funny," I said softly. "I think I've been managing fine without any help." The silence that followed was delicious. Her pride was wounded, and she didn't know why. I noticed relatives beginning to notice my transformation. Some expressed subtle admiration for my independence, which annoyed her. Every tiny victory, every shift in perception, was feeding the foundation of her eventual humiliation. She invited me to a family investment seminar, trying to flaunt her knowledge and wealth. I attended calmly, taking careful notes, observing and preparing. By the end of the session, I had not only learned valuable financial strategies, but had quietly undermined her credibility in front of a small but influential circle. I refused to act impulsively when I saw opportunities. Each interaction, each gesture, each word was calculated. Patience is a weapon. I wielded it like a blade, letting her arrogance do the work for me. The more she bragged, the more she revealed, the more I catalogued. I began quietly investing in causes and charities she claimed to support publicly. She bragged to friends, believing she was generous and admired, while I quietly ensured her public statements and my behind-the-scenes actions would soon collide in an ironic revelation. A minor family crisis gave me the perfect opening. I volunteered to handle logistics, finances, and coordination, executing flawlessly. My mother tried to assert authority and failed. Every small failure she suffered in front of others was a stone added to her unraveling facade. Her arrogance grew reckless. She began making careless decisions, flaunting wealth without thought. I remained calm, recording every slip. Every overconfident move she made brought me closer to the ultimate payoff. At a family gathering, a trusted relative asked about a financial decision she had bragged about. My mother faltered, giving conflicting details. I didn't intervene, I only watched. The audience observed, quietly judging. Her credibility began crumbling, and it was glorious to witness. I almost acted too soon, almost revealing my knowledge of the secret account during a heated moment. But I stayed calm, smiling, letting the tension build. This near miss was crucial. It made her arrogance more exposed, and my eventual reveal more satisfying. I facilitated a financial deal she tried to monopolize. Unknowingly, she contributed directly to a project that would publicly elevate me, while her role diminished. Every step felt earned, every moment poetic. She was doing the work herself, only to unknowingly empower her own downfall. With careful timing, I revealed to family a small yet critical fact. A financial move she had bragged about had been strategically countered by my planning. The shock, the whispers, the disbelief, it was perfection. Her reaction wasn't just embarrassment. It was the start of unraveling everything she had controlled. The final move came during a family reunion. I presented quietly, calmly, an unexpected financial windfall, the same amount she had hidden from me, legally and morally acquired through my own investments and strategic planning. The crowd's reaction was immediate, her arrogance laid bare. She couldn't touch the narrative. I had outsmarted her at every turn. Family dynamics shifted permanently. Her attempts to assert dominance failed spectacularly. I watched, calm and composed, as respect for me grew and envy for her faded. Every gesture, every whispered conversation acknowledged the truth. I was now untouchable in her eyes, and she had nobody to blame but herself. I walked away, finally free of the emotional chains she had imposed on me for years. I thrived, independent, empowered, and unburdened by her cruelty. The moral of the story was clear. Strength isn't shown in anger, it's shown in strategy, patience, and self-worth. And for the first time in my life, I felt the peace of absolute justice achieved without compromising my values.